Sail to France Customs Revisions is a more detailed look at what paperwork you're going to face crossing the Channel to France this summer. It's about how the French Customs, Douane, or PAF, Police Auxiliary Frontiers, Border Police, work in the ports of entry, how the police allow you to enter France for the first time. The French authorities have posted a map on their websites, especially for British boat owners sailing to France, showing all the ports of entry, the places you can legally enter France in your boat. The French have also created this list of ports of entry where you can legally enter France from the UK, together with marina and customs details. The implication of the list and the map is that there are authorities in all these places who will stamp or scan your passport on arrival. That's not correct. It simply doesn't work like that, I'm afraid. For a start, it's worth being aware that the first column on the list, region, changes after Boulogne from Hauts-de-France to Normandy. Now this is important because for some reason the authorities in Normandy are far more user-friendly to visiting Brits than those of the Hauts-de-France. Same rules, but slightly different interpretation by the local French officials. The second column is simply the name of the town that we normally identify as being the place that we're visiting. The third column is the name of the marina, which is located in that town. Port de Plaisance is French for marina, pleasure port, I guess. If you want more information about a French marina, you'll get a better response on Google if you put in Port de Plaisance Calais or Boulogne or Le Havre. Almost all French marina websites have an English version. They list office opening hours and often include the closures between 12:30 and 1400 for lunch. They frequently have information for British visitors about checking in locally with the customs. The third column, PTT Détachement, is perhaps the most important for us visitors, as it indicates where the French Customs, Douane or PAF, Police Auxiliary Frontier, are located. Small town marinas show the nearby bigger town, which is fine and fairly obvious. I mean, in Saint-Valery-en-Caux, the Customs or PAF is in Dieppe. But here is the big problem. There might be a customs office or a PAF station in the town, but that does not necessarily mean that they are authorized or equipped to process our passports. To make it clear, I live in Boulogne-sur-Mer, here, where I'm speaking from, and according to the list, there is a PAF station here. It's true, there is, but it's in the form of a very big fast patrol boat with a large crew who do not have any interest whatsoever in stamping British passports. There's also a large customs house, Douane, on the industrial estate, which I visited on several occasions to register my boat in order to keep it in French waters. They deal mainly with the fishing industry and they do not process British passports. So if you visit Boulogne-sur-Mer in your boat, you're going to have to go to Calais PAF to get your passports processed. The fourth and last column simply tells you if the town is a frontier police or customs. There is a much vaunted French form, which is the equivalent of the British Border Force or customs form you fill out in order to sail to France from the UK or to come back into the UK. The French call theirs Border Control for Yachts Entering Schengen France from a non-EU country. And clearly, a non-EU country is the United Kingdom. The UK form lists passport details of everyone in the boat and details about the boat. The French form does much the same thing and simply makes it easier for French officials to process when you eventually find them. In more or less the same way as the British customs system, you email the completed form to the customs or frontier police post and a copy of it to a French mariner. Using this system speeds up the checking in process, but it doesn't motivate an official to come to your boat unless they suspect you of illegal immigration or smuggling or drugs or something. I've actually been inspected, which is a euphemism for having the boat searched, on several occasions, and they're pretty liberal with the narcotics detection powder. So if anybody on board did smoke a little weed, you need to wipe down the surfaces and drawer tops pretty thoroughly. The next problem is that with the exception of Cherbourg, there is not a single French Channel port where the customs or PAF, Police Frontier, are going to come to your boat, except to search it or question the crew. In Cherbourg during the summer, the marina is organised with the PAF, Police Frontier, that they will make morning and evening visits to the marina office at set times. The PAF will process all the British boats that have arrived that day or want to clear out in order to return to England. The only problem with this is that you have to queue to get served, but that's a lot better than most of the other French ports, where you're obliged to travel some distance to customs PAF in order to check in or out. The second best place in terms of checking in and out is probably Dieppe. It has a PAF office just north of the ferry terminal, about 30 minutes walk away according to Google Maps. So, if you allow 30 minutes for the actual process of getting the passports and ship's papers processed, it's probably going to take a total of an hour and a half to complete the entire process. Next is Calais, which involves a 15-minute walk to the bus stop, 20 minutes bus trip, and then 10 minutes walk to the office. So the entire process is probably going to take a couple of hours. And finally, there's my home port of Boulogne, where you're going to have to take a train to Calais, then get a free bus to the ferry terminal, and then a good 10-minute walk to the customs office. Best part of half a day in my experience. In going to any customs or police frontier office, you should be aware that they are mainly open only Monday to Friday, and they're closed during the longish French lunch break, more than an hour. It might be an idea to ask the marina office what hours their local custom officers keep before you set off. Okay, this is an awful lot of information to take on board in a short video, and there's an awful lot more detail to talk about, like the various travel and route instructions and about exactly how to find and get to the various French customs or police offices. I've written a guidebook on exactly what to do for a visit to France in your sailing boat, and it's rather imaginatively titled Sailing to France with French Customs Douane. It covers the ports of Calais, Boulogne, Dieppe and Cherbourg in great detail, with maps and instructions for finding the French authorities in each one of these 4 ports of entry, as well as exactly how the British form-filling operation works. There's also pilotage details for entering those ports with chartlets and details of the facilities available there. There are links to all the French Marina websites and to both British and French customs or border force forms and how to fill those forms out. It's got 6 chapters: British rules and regulations, French rules and regulations, Calais and Boulogne from Dover and Eastbourne, Dieppe from Brighton and Eastbourne, Cherbourg from the UK, and finally a summary of what I think the best solutions are. The book is available from my books library at gentlesailing.com as an instant download. It's in PDF form, so you can either print it out at home or send it to an online printer who will make it into a proper book for you. If this summer sail to France is going to be your first since Brexit, or perhaps your first ever, then I think you'll find this book really useful and informative. Well, I certainly hope so. Fair winds for your cross-channel sail this summer. Lucky you. It's going to be nice weather, I think. Bye. My library of digital sailing books is at gentlesailing.com, so you can buy them as instant downloads. There's a link to a printer who can convert them to hard copy if that's what you prefer. I've just totally updated and republished French Canal Routes to the Mediterranean, which is now in its 12th edition and is fully up to date with new information, charts and pictures. Recently I published Your Boat in the Sun, which proved an instant popular success. It's about where to keep your boat in the Mediterranean or the Caribbean and the costs and the logistics involved. The Atlantic Crossing Guide has become a bestseller, and it outsells most of the others, probably because it's arguably one of the most comprehensive guides to sailing to the Caribbean that's available. The Gentle Sailing Route to the Mediterranean is one of the most popular publications that I have. It describes how to coast hop all the way to Gibraltar without having to spend a night at sea. There are books about marinas in the Med, sailing in the Caribbean islands, as well as a book on simple navigation and even a Pacific Ocean crossing guide, and a book about just living aboard a sailing boat. Sailing to France with French customs explains exactly what to do in order to get your passport stamped when you arrive, and all the other official documentation. Anyway, it's all at gentlesailing.com, so please do pay the site a visit and browse through my publications if you have a moment. Thanks. Fair winds.